I stand up against Wahhabism. I stand up against Salafism. I don't agree with these teachings. These teachings do not represent Islam, in my opinion. They do not represent the religion that Allah in Quran al-Kareem describes as His religion, Dini Allahu, which is Islam. It does not represent the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sufis are today, they are afraid of speaking out against Wahhabis and Salafis because they fear the anger and the excommunication and threats and violence that comes from Wahhabis and Salafis. That is why many Sufis, I think, or Sufi Muslims, or Muslims who are on the Sunnah, having Sufi roots, do not speak out against Wahhabism and Salafism because of fear. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in authentic hadith that the greatest jihad you can do is to speak truth against tyranny. The Quran also says in Surah Al-Baqarah, do not hide the truth while you know. And there are hadiths where Prophet says you should speak the truth even if it's displeasing to people. And the truth is that Wahhabism and Salafism and any forms of materialist Islam or Dunya Islam does not represent the religion of Allah. In my opinion, it is not the religion that I follow. It is not Islam, Iman, Ihsan. Does that mean that every Wahhabi is a kafir? Every Salafi is a kafir? No. You cannot generalize and take an entire group of people and just brand them as heretics or they are going to burn into hellfire. Only Allah truly knows who is a mu'min and a kafir. Only Allah truly knows who is a believer, and only Allah knows truly who is a disbeliever. There may be many Muslims out there who identify as Wahhabi who are believers. There may be many Salafis out there who Muslims who identify as Salafis who are believers. But there are too many in the group that we call Wahhabi, meaning follower of Abdul Wahhabi, and many of them who attack on social media. They say there is no such thing as Wahhabism. Of course there is such a thing as Wahhabism. Abdul Wahhab lived in the 1700s in Saudi Arabia and had this radical reformist Islamic movement. People who follow that school are Wahhabi. That's what we mean by Wahhabi. Who sympathize with that school, who follow that school, influenced by that school, have values and beliefs of that school, approach Islam according to those teachings. That's a Wahhabi. A Salafi is a similar kind of thing. So why is this not Islam? Because the way is Islam, Iman, Ihsan. That is the true way. You can read Hadith Jibril, the most important hadith in our religion. Islam is a term you will find in Quran and Hadith Jibril and other hadith. Iman is a term you will find in Quran and Hadith Jibril and other hadiths. Ihsan is a term you will find in Quran and hadiths and Hadith Jibril and other hadiths. That's the full religion, is Islam, Iman, Ihsan. You cannot reject Tasawwuf or Sufism or the inner side of religion of Islam. Then you have a practice with no spirit. And that is what has happened today. That is why Islam has become a dunya thing, a worldly thing where people just do exoteric practices, but the spirit is anger, the spirit is irritation, jealousy, and rudeness towards other people. And I would attribute all of the problems in the Middle East today to Wahhabism and Salafism. In my opinion, all the fitna, all the wars, all the conflicts you see in the Middle East are rooted in Wahhabism and Salafism, because you remove the spiritual link of Islam and only focus on the form, but the spirit is completely corrupted. The spirit has anger, it has hatred, and that anger and hatred is manifesting in the countless wars you see in the Middle East. May other countries take lesson and learn from this. No, every person in the Middle East is not a disbeliever. That is not it. There are mu'min in the Middle East. There are mu'min in countries that are dominated by Wahhabism and Salafism. There are good people everywhere. You cannot brand an entire group of people and say that all are kafir. The one who does that is ignorant. But teaching is problematic. It is problematic and it is wrong, and it gives rise to extremism. It gives rise to Al-Qaeda. May Allah protect us from people like that. It gives rise to ISIS. May Allah protect us from people like that. It gives rise to all of this corruption that you see in the religion. They ban Mawlid, celebration of Prophet Muhammad's birth. Astaghfirullah azim. They take away Zikrullah, so that you cannot remember your Lord, even if Quran al-Kareem says, verily in the zikr of Allah hearts find rest or tumanina. They forbid most of the zikr and say you should only do like this. You see, they reduce the religion. They go and dig up the graves of the Sahaba, the followers of Prophet Muhammad, and throw the bodies in the ocean. This is unbelievable. How dare they? Have you no taqwa in your heart? Ittaqullahi. Have you no fear of Allah? How dare you do something like that? Because they accuse it of shirk. Yeah, maybe those people who are so angry, maybe they are mushrik. Who knows? But the people who go to visit graves are not mushrik. We follow only Allah, Tawheed. Tawheed is the center teaching of Islamic theology. Kul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad is the verse of Tawheed. They go into Quran and they translate that book where they have English translation, a parenthesis where they explain what the verses mean. It is completely unbelievable. In this Quran, for example, which is translated by a Wahhabi Salafi, Saudi Arabian, they are all Wahhabi Salafi there. When you see things here, writings, they will put a commentary. For example, here, and verily you are indeed guiding mankind to the straight path. You know how they write it. And verily you, in parenthesis, O Muhammad, are guiding mankind to the straight path, i.e. Allah's religion of Islamic monotheism. You see, they add, I don't know if you can see it, the Wahhabis, they add tafsir in an English translation. This is unbelievable. No, to the straight path, the Siratul Mustaqim, i.e. Allah's religion of Islamic monotheism. That is your tafsir on what a straight path means. This is unbelievable. A human being who thinks he is greater than Allah, that had no fear of Allah, just goes into the holy book of Allah in an English translation and puts a parenthesis where he adds his own tafsir. So when an English-speaking person reads this and cannot read Arabic, he don't know what is the word of Allah and what is the word of man. They have no fear of Allah. It's unbelievable. They will go to hadiths that the Muslim world for 1,300 years have agreed are authentic hadiths that you can find in all the classical works like Imam Ghazali and so on. These hadiths, because it does not correspond with their ideology, they will just reject them as weak. Or, no, this is not a saying of a prophet, it's the saying of Ali or Omar, may Allah be pleased with the Sahaba. They will just do like that. It is unbelievable. When they find an hadith that they don't agree with, such as, I was a hidden treasure, I wanted to be known, so I created creation in order to be known, Hadith Qudsi, or Allah saying, neither the heavens or earth can contain me, only the heart of the believer can. They don't agree with them, so they label them as weak or unauthentic, or it's not a saying of prophet, it's a saying of a follower of prophet. It's unbelievable. They are changing the religion. They are reducing the religion. They are removing your mawlid. They are removing your zikr. They are certainly removing salat ala nabi. That is also one thing I noticed. The verse, Inna Allah wa malaikatuhu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. O you who believe, send blessings upon Prophet. They have changed that. O you who believe, Ask Allah to send blessings on Prophet. And in some translations, "O you who believe, send blessings to Allah." It's unbelievable. They remove your ability to do Salat ala Nabi because they don't agree with it. And the funny thing is that all of this reform is taking place in Islam. They are cutting off everything in Islam. It's like a flower. They cut off one leaf, another leaf, a third leaf. They cut out the crumb and there's nothing left. And Muslims are just sitting by and watching this happen and they don't do anything. Muslims sit by and they don't do anything. Why? Because Saudi oil money. The Wahhabis are funded by Saudi Arabia. They are trillionaires by the oil that America and other countries buy. So, and the Saudi Arabians have built 1,500 masjids, Wahhabi influenced masjids all over the Muslim world. And they have built madrasas and all of these things, particularly in Pakistan. Wherever you find a King Faisal masjid, then you know that the Saudi Wahhabi duo has been there and influenced. They build roads and so on. So Muslims are selling out the religion of Allah for dunya. Every Muslim is not doing that. This is not. But there are too many in power who are doing that. It is so sad. They are reducing the religion all the time. And they claim that the Muslim Ummah fell astray. So we need to go back to the time of the Sahaba. But they don't know how people lived in the time of the Sahaba. So they are sitting there and innovating a new spiritless, dry and angry form-based Islam. So the Wahhabis and Salafis will constantly accuse Sufis of bid'ah. They are the Ahlul Bid'ah. The Salafis are the Ahlul Bid'ah. The Wahhabis are the Ahlul Bid'ah. They are a big Bid'ah movement that want to remove everything that we have done for 1,300 years and reinvent the entire religion. So they destroy the spiritual side completely because they don't have spirituality. They are angry and they are filled with hypocrisy. The people who are leading, not everyone again. I speak out against this. This is wrong. This is not Islam. This is hypocrisy. Munafiq, nifaq, or the munafiqun. You see the warning of hypocrisy in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah. There are those who claim that they believe, but in reality they don't believe. They think that they deceive Allah, and those who believe, but they only deceive themselves. They don't know that. In their heart is a disease. Allah increased their disease. For them is a painful torment because they lie. The Wahhabis and Salafis, again, you cannot take every human being who identifies like that. But the core of their belief, and too many in those groups, are munafiqun. They are the hypocrites of this time. They are the fitna of Islam. They are the reason why there is bloodshed in the Middle East. Because there are not sheikhs of tasawwuf who can teach the people to be patient, to teach the people to transform themselves from anger, teach the people to have faith in Allah, trust in Allah, hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, teach people to love all of creation because Allah loves all of creation. All of these fine spiritual traits, Rahman, Rahim, Salam, Sabur, that are the names of Allah that the tasawwuf, the spiritual path of tazkiyah or purification, teach you. They have removed that. So now they have anger. And that is what leads to a situation where some people attack Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. They respond with anger. And now they have war. Instead, when people attack Al-Aqsa Mosque, say, Astaghfirullah for the kafirun. We will be patient and we will trust in Allah. Yeah. If you had tasawwuf there would not be fighting in Jerusalem right now. There would not be. There would not be fighting in Gaza. There would not be fighting in Syria. There would be no ISIS. There would not be these wars between the Sunnis and Shias. That's also a new thing, this Sunni and Shia thing. In my heart, only Allah knows the truth. But what I feel is that we need to speak out against injustice. We need to speak out against tyrants, even if they are funded by lots and lots of Saudi oil money. What is it, 9 million barrels of oil? Saudi Arabia produces, one of the largest oil producers in the world, together with Russia and some other places. Even if that oil money can fund an extreme form of Islam, and that Islam spreads all over the Muslim world, there must be some people who show the world that everyone is not like them. Everyone does not support that Islam is used. Islam comes from salam, meaning peace. That the religion of Allah, which is the religion of peace, because Allahu as-salam, Allah is peace. You know, Islam, which is peace, is used for war. Islam, which means peace, is used for war. Islam, which also means surrender to Allah, is used for hypocrisy and surrender to oil money. This needs to be said. The true Islam should purify yourself to become a better person, and that way you get peace. The true Islam is surrender to Allah, because when you surrender to Allah, you let go of the ego and you let Allah be Lord, and that is also the way to peace. The true Islam is tazkiyah, where you purify yourself to become a better person. So you start slowly and slowly getting rid of the anger, the hatred, the pride, the jealousy, and you replace this with the good qualities of Allah, al-Haq, truth, ar-Rahman, Rahim, compassion, mercy, as-Sabr, patience, as-Salam, peace, al-Latif, gentleness or subtlety, al-Wadud, beloved, or you can say love. This is it. These are the challenging times of the Akhirul Zaman. One of the great challenges of this time is that which is within Islam, because Shaitan, a'udhu billahi, is trying to enter Islam. Shaitan has entered the outer layers of Islam with this corruption, and he, inshallah, I don't know, inshallah, not inshallah, but he, a'udhu billah, might even enter the inner layers. We have to also say no, this is not the way. Allah's religion is peace. Allah's religion is surrender to Him. Allah's religion is Islam, Iman wa Ihsan. Allah's religion is to fear Allah, ittaqullah. Allah's religion is to be patient during trials. Allah's religion is not tyranny, anger, hatred, putting other people down, threatening other people, changing Quranic translations, removing Mawlid, removing Zikr, removing all of these practices that Muslims have been doing, which are completely allowed in the Sharia. Allah's religion is not to remove hadiths or dig up graves of Sahaba and throw them in the ocean. Astaghfirullah Azim. This is not the reform of the Mujaddid. This is the reform of the Munafiq. The Mujaddid, the great Mujaddid, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. May Allah bring us Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Hopefully this is helpful. Assalamu alaikum.